welcome back to my channel. Thank you, and you for joining me once again today. I am very excited about today's video because I am going to be sitting here and yapping, just talking about some of my personal favorite childhood movies. Now, if you have any favorite childhood movies, definitely let me know. I think everybody as a kid had at least a few movies where they were absolutely obsessed with and watched it all the time. So I just went through my DVDs and got a few of my favorites. So my absolute number one favorite movie when I was a kid was this one right here. I know that all of you know this movie. It's very popular. What makes me happy is that kids still love this movie. Cars. Disney Pixar's Cars. I believe this movie came out when I was in second grade. I saw it in theater actually, which was very rare. I rarely saw movies in theater when I was a kid. I was instantly attached to this movie. My brother was too, actually. We both were. And it was to the point where my brother and I even had multiple matching Cars t-shirts. We loved Cars. And even honestly, watching the movie now, it's a good movie. There are some really good messages in this movie. Also, the character development of our protagonist, Lightning McQueen, is really good. After watching the movie in theater, my parents, of course, got us this DVD so we can watch it as many times as we want at home. I remember my mom actually even bought me the movie soundtrack on a CD. I had a little stereo, so I could just listen to the movie soundtrack too whenever I wanted. Absolute favorite. This DVD case is actually really cool. It's got a nice shine to it, little holographic shine. The Cars logo here, Lightning McQueen, and the characters also have a raised texture, making it really interesting to touch here. I inherited quite a few of the childhood movies that were in my parents' house. They were like, yeah, you can have it. We don't need it. And it's kind of nice because I can just pop the DVDs into my Xbox and just rewatch everything that I really liked. Now, speaking of Disney and Pixar, they have some really good movies. Another movie that I absolutely loved when I was a kid, another Pixar movie, is Wall-E. Wall-E, 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 Wall-E. Now this is an incredible movie. The message of this movie is still very, very relatable regarding climate and society in general. Also, when this movie came out, the animation effects was probably one of the best of its time. I think this movie came out like 2008. We didn't have much really, really well animated movies like this one. And you can still watch this today and be absolutely awed by the effects, the special effects, the art, animation. This DVD case is another one that is very shiny. You can see the shine on Earth, the background, and Wall-E's eyes there. What a cute movie. I really love movies like this that are family friendly but have a really good, deep message behind it, where it's just enjoyable for everyone, but you can also kind of learn from it. I feel like this was also a really good era for Disney and Pixar. They were coming out with some bangers, really good movies. I don't know, I feel like there was just more thought into each character and the plot, the message of the movie. I think the animations were also just absolutely wonderful. I also really like what Disney was doing in the 90s as well. I think their animated movies from the 90s were top-notch, just really good. I'm hoping they kind of step it up again soon. But this was another one of my absolute favorite movies growing up. Next, of course, I had to include something Pokemon. I have some other Pokemon movies too, but this one was probably my favorite. I also really loved I think it was the Deoxys one, pretty sure. But this one is Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker. This DVD had a Pokemon card in it, which was fascinating to my brother and I. It had, of course, a Jirachi Pokemon card. You can see here Absol, Torchic, Trico, Mudkip, Groudon, Pikachu. On the back here, you even have a Flygon. And do you see that Groudon there? Ooh, that doesn't look like a normal Groudon. This movie From what I remember, it was pretty short. This was one that didn't really have that much of a deep meaning. It was really just that I loved Pokemon. I was already collecting Pokemon cards. And I loved Jirachi. I think Jirachi is technically a mythical Pokemon. I don't think it's a legendary. I think it's a mythical. Absolutely love Jirachi. Definitely not one of the good Pokemon movies, but when I was a kid it was incredible, so I had to add it on my top here. And last but not least, I have one more movie that I wanted to share today. I definitely had more movies I was obsessed with, but I had to narrow it down. Okay, if you know this movie, incredible, I love you. Live action Scooby-Doo. There were multiples. This was the one where they went to Mystery Island. These live action movies were shockingly really good, very entertaining, and all the characters were played by the perfect actors. It does have, of course, Matthew Lillard. If you don't know him, he's amazing. He's in a lot of popular movies. He was also in the recent Five Nights at Freddy's movie. He's reaching out to the younger generation too. Oh, it's so good. But for this one, I think the plot was that the Scooby-Doo gang here kind of separated, went their own ways, and they ended up reuniting on this mystery island. There's some big mysteries to solve on that island. They work together again. Matthew Lillard does such a good job in this movie, by the way. The perfect Shaggy. Oh my goodness. The music in this movie is also actually so catchy. Really good. I think the special effects were not the best in this, but because the movie is so entertaining, it does not bother me whatsoever. When did this movie come out? I should say, I think it's 2002 when this movie came out. So, you 90s kids, 90s, 80s kids probably loved it. I know that this DVD, when you play it, there is, through the menu screen, a game that you can play. Do we have that very much anymore? Like, interactive things to do within a DVD? I remember through the menu screen you can actually play a claw machine game. It's a full-blown game I think this also has a trivia inside it. It was so cool. Scooby-Doo. I have more DVDs, so I think eventually I'll have to show more off. It's also just really fun to kind of revisit things from your childhood. Think about how much fun you had. And you can still have fun. You can always rewatch your favorite movies and just enjoy them all over again as an adult. If you're a little bit younger and you haven't seen this, go watch it. It's so good. It's so funny. There's also a lot of, not too much, but there were definitely some adult humor moments in this movie that I definitely did not catch until I rewatched it as an adult. There we go. Well, thank you so much for listening to me yap about some of my favorite childhood memories. Or childhood movies, but I was able to create a lot of very fun memories through these movies. I remember just sitting in the family room watching a lot of these with my brother. Fun times. Again, definitely let me know if you had any favorite movies when you were a kid. I'd love to hear everybody's favorites. Oh my gosh. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow.